This conference will now be recorded.
All right. So I'm going to do a couple of things here real quick on my computer, and then we'll keep it pushing from there. One second, you all. One second. All right, so it is time to start. It's 9:01, and we're going to go ahead and get this party started. This is going to be a good call, and I'm very thankful for everybody being on the call. I'm very appreciative. Thank you very much. So this call this morning is, it's about the rule of three, and there's a couple of different avenues that we're going to talk about dealing with the rule of three. And the call has been recorded, but let me do a couple little quick things here, you guys. I think I kind of did something, and I don't know how to change it. So let me try to figure out how to change it if I can. But I'm not going to worry about it. So today, our call is about the rule of three and this whole series, right? So I'm going to start doing a series for you guys, and it's going to be simply called Moving Mountains. I mean, every day, right? So every day we all have, either big or small mountains that we need to move. And, whether you realize it or not, part of moving mountains is recognizing that you're moving them. So even if it's something as small as, getting up in the morning, when you don't want to, that's moving a mountain. We have to start retraining ourselves. You and I both have to start retraining ourselves and understanding that, in the world in which we live, it is imperative, it is important that we start retraining ourselves. I have to do it regularly, okay? So it's just a part of this existence that we're in. We have all been fed some sort of dogma about who we are, what we are, all that good stuff. And I have to tell you that, I have been able to transform me, not as much as I want to be transformed, but in degrees, because because I'm moving these mountains, right? I'm moving these small mountains, and to get to the bigger mountains. And so I have to start acknowledging the fact that my accomplishments, no matter how small they may be to myself or to someone else, they are accomplishments, and they have to be recognized. This whole thing of three, which is what our call is about today under this Moving Mountains series, is literally where we're going to break down. There are multiple parts of us, obviously, so we have to start saying to ourselves, I respect and control these parts of me, whether it's the physical part of myself, the emotional part of myself, or the mental part of myself, which are, different. If we don't do that, you're going to find that you're going to stay the status quo. And, the old saying, everybody and their mama says it, which I really don't want to say it because everybody says it, is that, the science, I can't even get the words out of my mouth. The whatever it is about insanity is doing the same thing over and over again. So we're going to have to change, right? And I'm noticing in my own existence, dealing with my wife, who is not entrepreneurial in any way, shape, or form. Initially, I started this business with her, which I've mentioned to you all in the past, and I've invested a lot of money. Well, yeah, a lot of money. I've invested a fair amount of money, in my opinion, right? So, somewhere between $1,000 and $2,000, let's say. And for me, that is a lot of money just to put out and not have anything with it, have anything come of it. And so what was happening is I was getting like pissed off, because I invested this money. 3 months went by, nothing really occurred. And I'm like, well, dude, what do you do? Oh, well, this, oh, well, that, oh, well, all these excuses and what have you. At least I felt that way. But what I have had to come to the conclusion is that I was putting something on my wife that's just not her. And so in order for me to help her, because she's, I want to start a business. I don't want to go and check in somewhere at a job. I don't want to do all that crap. I don't want to this. I don't want to that. And so, but I'm like, okay, well, we can do this. We can start this business. Decades and decades ago, I used to sell at the swap meet, and it is very true what they say: one man's junk is another man's treasure. And so nowadays, you can go to the swap meet if you like, but the online venues that are available to us are ridiculous, right? So you can, literally start selling online whatever it is that you have. I mean, you can go and clean people's garages out if you want to. Or do like a buddy of mine where she goes to the different thrift stores and does thrifting several times a week, and then resells those high-end items that she's finding on Mercari, Poshmark, and a little bit on eBay. Well, the thing is that I was the one promoting my buddy to do it, and she's starting to pick up steam, right? She's starting to do well. And so I'm looking in my own household, and I'm going, well, damn, I've spent this money. I bought all these clothes. I've had them dry cleaned, which is not really the norm, but most people will wash them themselves, but I don't want to wash all these damn clothes. So my point is that I felt I invested, and I felt that I've done my part, and now she should do her part, meaning my wife. Well, if you're dealing with an individual who's not an entrepreneur, you have to understand, or at least I had to come to the understanding, that I'm literally pushing her into something that is completely out of character for her, out of her world, right? So I had to back up myself, collect myself, so to speak, get out of my own way, if you will, and just kind of rethink things. And I've had to say, okay, well, wait a second. I'm upset with her because 3 months went by. I've invested this money, and nothing has come of it. And so what I had to do is I had to say to myself, well, let me start actively pursuing it, with my time. And with doing that, it's made it easier for her to come on board, so to speak, and participate more. Because it's not just me saying, here, I'm throwing you out there, make this stuff happen. I've invested the money, I this, I that. All this other bullshit where I'm putting it where I'm so great, I'm so wonderful, I'm all this other crap, and I've done my thing. You need to do your thing, and it was just wrong, and it was foul, right? Because you just can't do that to someone who's not of that mindset. So what I had to do is I had to flip the script and say, I, Pascal Dominique Mansell, I'm going to do this thing. right? I'm going to do it. I'm going to take my spare time, if you will, and I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to make some stuff happen. And lo and behold, it made it easier for her to say, okay, well, I can do this, and it starts to develop a level of confidence in her that is not all on her shoulders. And if you remember from last week's call when I was talking about how even starting this Power Monday Mastermind thing, that I had to contact Nicole and Joy and get them to participate with me so that I could feel comfortable enough and confident enough to be able to even start this Power Monday Mastermind calls, right? So I could, I needed that support. But yet when it came to somebody else, I wasn't willing to lend that support. I was just saying, do this. And instead of saying, oh, I get it. The same way that I've needed support in the past for various different things, including starting this Power Monday Mastermind call, talking to Joy, talking to Nicole, was what Rhoda needs. And so therefore, when I flipped the script and I took it upon my shoulders to move forward in this, right, selling these clothes on eBay, it gave her the confidence, it gave her the support, if you will, to say, oh, well, I can do this. And if she sees me working at it, even if it's just a little bit every day, then she is more motivated to work at it too. Because once again, this whole thing, this entrepreneurial thing is not her thing. It's something she wants to do, but it's not her thing. And so what has happened just in a very short period of time is, not a lot, obviously, because we're still putting up clothing items online, making sure everything is up and so on and so forth. But what has been happening over the last 2 weeks, so it's been about 3 weeks that I had to have a mind shift. And in the last 2 weeks or so, 3 weeks I'll call it. So we first started selling a little bit of stuff, right? So a couple of pieces here, a couple of pieces there. And then we had our biggest weekend, where this weekend from Friday to yesterday, we sold 9 items. And it doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a starting place, okay? It's a starting place, and what is happening is, we are literally moving these mountains, okay? Because what seemed to be insurmountable, it doesn't sound like it, but when you're starting something, in the beginning, it just seems so damn insurmountable. It's like, oh my God, it's Mount Everest, and it's literally right in front of me. I am at the foot of Mount Everest, and I'm looking up this big ass mountain, and I don't even know how I'm going to do this crap. Even the smallest things in our existence and our business, that's what it feels like, at least to me personally, when I'm starting something and something is new. But what I'm understanding and learning, every day, and relearning it and learning it in different ways, is that none of this stuff is insurmountable, and it is literally inside of me to climb Mount Everest, to climb Mount Kilimanjaro. It is inside of me, and I have it. And the reason I know that I have it, and I know that you have it, is because we're both the same people. I don't care what your name is, what you look like. I don't care any of that bullshit. What I do know is that you and I are the exact same people. And I know that looking at these mountains that are in front of us, it is as simple as getting out of the bed when you're tired and you don't feel like getting out of bed, and you do that thing. That is moving a mountain, and you need to recognize that and take pride in yourself for that. And the reason that is so important is because as we move these mountains, as we went from selling, I don't know what it was in the beginning. I think maybe two, three different things after she got some, stuff listed on eBay. It was like, oh my God, these people are buying this crap, and I don't mean it's crap. It's really actually really good stuff, but it's used clothes. We call it, I bought both domain names, so I think it's 1229 vintage if you want to find it on eBay. So it's 1229 vintage, or because I know I bought both domain names, or vintage 1229, but I think on eBay is 1229 vintage, or you can just flip it and go vintage 1229. Either one of them will pop up. And my point is that what seemed to be so insurmountable, which was getting the clothes up online, taking the time to do that, me being upset and angry about, my wife not doing what I thought she should be doing, and so on and so forth, and walking around with a little attitude because I'm thinking to myself, I spent this money and you're not, blah, 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 blah. Well, the deal is that once I got out of my own way and out of my silliness, right? That silliness that I believe most of us have. I'm sorry, somebody was saying something? Okay, so the point is that once I got out of my own way and out of my silliness, and allowed my wife to be my wife and move in her own fashion and form, right? Because she's like, okay, well, he's with me, he's participating with me, right? It's not just me doing it. So since we've probably sold maybe 30 items thus far, and that's not for me starting this thing when we did 3 months of absolutely nothing, and now we're doing 30 items or so in the last few weeks. Doesn't sound like much, but in the beginning, it seemed like an insurmountable mountain. Right? It literally did. It was like, I was frustrated. She was probably frustrated. And it just seemed like it was just so hard to do. But by taking an understanding or a look at the scenario, and just growing up, just literally for me, it was a matter of having to grow up and say, dude, if I need help to start things and do things and to make me feel comfortable with it, why can't the next person need it? In this case, my wife. And by doing that, by understanding that and working together as a team, it has increased her comfort level. And therefore, she's working on this thing like a champ now, right? But I too am working on it, diligently as well. But together, making it easier for both of us, because I don't have time, quite frankly, to work on the eBay business. But what I do have time to do is, or what I can make time to do, is to do my part. I can't do the whole thing, obviously, because I'm busy with my clients and what have you. But what I can do is participate and show her that, you know what, I'm a part of this with you. It's not all on you. And together we can literally move these mountains, out of our way. And so therefore we went from me being upset, over my couple of grand spent and just harboring this crappy feeling inside of myself, which is really bad, obviously, right? We don't want to harbor a bunch of anger or whatever within us, because it makes you sick, literally, mentally and physically sick doing that, and it just makes your relationship shitty. Even if you can play nice, in your subconsciously, which we're going to get into in a little bit, you're still saying, You look around, you see all these damn clothes around your place that are folded and packaged and ready to go, and you're like, well, damn it, you know. So my point is that once you flip the script, once you know, for you, you're going to be different than me, right? Because we're different we're all human beings, but we're going to react and do things differently, and we're going to move our mountains in different ways. So for me, what I'm seeing is I have 9 packages that once this call's over, that I got to take to the post office, you know, and with me seeing those 9 packages that I have to take to the post office in a little bit, it makes me feel like all of this is possible. You know, there are people on eBay that are selling clothes, and they're knocking $30,000-$40,000 a month. There's a young lady. If you go on what is it on Instagram, you can find little groups where people are selling on Macari, and there's you know, and they all chat, or selling on Poshmark. Somebody's making a lot of noise, and if you could not make that noise, I'd appreciate it. And also on eBay, there's a young lady that did $90K in 2 months selling used clothes on eBay. And so my aspirations for, you know, this business with my wife is for we together to do that very same thing, because if someone else is doing it, right, we should be able to do it as well. And, you know, I'm telling you that, you know, back in the day, right, which, I'm sorry, somebody's talking, and please stop. If you're not participating in this conversation, either stop talking, put yourself on mute, or just get off the call. All right, because this is valuable information, and if you don't respect the call, then you need to get off the call. Period. So, bottom line is that, you know, we all have to learn to respect the fact that we have the capability of moving these mountains. We have the capability of improving ourselves, but even if it's in small pieces, even if it's like these, like, you know, just every day, oh my God, I was tired, I didn't feel like getting up, I got up, I was able to make these things happen. You know, pat yourself on the back for that. It's very, very important. It's very important to recognize and understand that even the smallest of things build up to be the bigger things. It's those small steps, it's those small movements of getting out of your own way sometimes, or, you know, taking a step that you weren't sure about taking. You know, so I hope you guys are getting this, because it all ties in, you know, the first part, the second part, and as I continue, it will all tie in. So once again, getting out of our own way, just like I had to get out of my way to start helping my wife start building this eBay business. I mean, granted, only 30 items are sold so far in a 3-week time, but that's from zero. Remember, 3 months of doing nothing. I've already spent the $2,000 or so, approximately, and instead of me walking around angry, upset, boom, able to make stuff happen because of what? Because of just getting out of my own way and starting to move the mountains in front of me, as opposed to worrying about all the extra bull crap that is around us. Does that make sense? Or all the extra bull crap that I allowed to be in my way. And so, very, very, very important. What I need everyone to do is to start writing down your objectives, you know. So we need to do several different things. You know, I'm kind of shifting now. We need to start doing several different things, because successful people do it. And so one of the things in order for us to move these mountains is for us to start taking responsibility for our actions on a daily basis. And what that simply means is that we need to become accountable for what we're doing. If you say you're going to start a business, then, or develop your business in some fashion or form, then you need to start doing things that are different than what you've been doing. And then you also need to hold yourself accountable for those things. And the simplest way I know to do that is to write down at least 5 things that you need to do. 5. It's not that much, you know. And even if you, like, if you're saying to yourself, well, damn, what 5 things can I do? Even if it's something as simple as going online, and researching whatever it is, getting a phone number for the, if you want to be a government contractor, getting a phone number for the local PTAC center, the Procurement Technical Assistance Center, and learn about what you can do to get government contracts. If it's something as simple as, saying, oh, you know what, I want to, make my business legit and I want to, get incorporated. Well, damn it, go to your Secretary of State and find out what it takes, find out the cost, what you have to submit, yada, yada, do that, so all these little things. And what you're going to find is that when you're moving these little mountains, like going online and finding, getting that piece of information, a phone number, an email address, or whatever it is you need, or a business or association that you need to deal with in some fashion or form. When you go online and sorry about that, guys. You go online and do these small things. What you're going to realize is that you're moving these mountains, number one, and number two, you're going to be able to track back to when you started by having them written down. And writing them down is extremely important because it's going to give you something to build upon, right? And that's so important, is having something to build upon. What a lot of people don't realize, and it took me a long time to realize it as well, is that everything that we do in this existence has been done because we built upon it some time ago. We were indoctrinated with a certain mindset and a certain way of doing things, and so that indoctrination, those life lessons that we learned that made us who we are today, those, whether it's positive or negative or somewhere in between, all of those things are exactly who you are today, is because you had multiple life lessons, multiple things happen to you in your existence, or multiple things that you've done in your existence that has made you who you are. And so in order to change where you're at in your life, right, then we're going to have to do things a little bit different. We're going to have to reprogram ourselves. We're going to have to understand that the best way to reprogram ourselves in the most rapid fashion is by us, just like taking control. And taking control is writing stuff down that you need to accomplish, instead of just letting things happen to you because of the programming that's already in you, and then you reinforcing that programming by going out and doing the same old stuff, or the things that you're doing because you were pre-programmed to do those things. Your software became hardware, and it's literally wired into you. You go to the bathroom pretty much at the same time. I don't know, a lot of things you do, the food you eat, the whatever, is because those are pre-programmed things. We with the help of others, have been programmed in a certain way. right? We've programmed ourselves, and other people have programmed ourselves because of the things we like and dislike, because of the things that we want in our existence and don't, right? And so, in order for us to change or shift in a meaningful way, we have to take control, not just, you can no longer just, go with the status quo or do the same crap you've been doing. We have to start shifting and changing. And to do that, we have to do it in a very, I don't know what the word I'm looking for. We have to do it in a very systematic way. So the best ways that I know to make it happen are by us, step by step, inch by inch, moving these mountains. And to do that, what are we going to do? We're going to start writing down the day before, and this is key. We're going to write down the day before the things that we need to do the next day. Even if you only have 5 things that you can fit in there, but you got to start with something, right? And so 5 is literally just an arbitrary number. It's a good number to me. 3 might be a good number to you. I don't know. I mean, you have to find, it could be 1. You could find one thing that's outside of your normal daily process, if that's what's good for you. But understand something. If you're going to do that one thing, then you can only stay at 1 for so long. I picked 5 because it becomes a little bit more difficult, and I like the idea of having a little bit more difficulty in my action. I like the idea of having a little bit more pressure, if you will, to accomplish those things, because I seem to work a little bit better under those circumstances. But you may be, you are a different person. So for you, you might feel like you need to start with that one thing. And that one thing, make it count though, and make it outside of your norm, make it outside of your regular everyday stuff, right? Make it towards your objective. If your objective is to, like my objective, my ultimate objective is, and I'm going to say this to you guys, and you might say, what the hell? He might be crazy. But my ultimate objective is to feed, clothe, and house 2 billion people throughout the world, primarily throughout Africa and the African diaspora. That's my thing. And to employ 200 million people through various business ventures that I have. So a lot of people, and to make $1 trillion, by the way. And so to a lot of people, they go, that's ridiculous. And you know what? In your mindset, it might be ridiculous. But what I'm doing for me with saying that and having that on my wall is I'm telling myself that I am not limited by anything except myself. That is my only true limitation. Now, can someone else in this world do something to me? Absolutely. It can happen. I could, go down the road and like what happened to my second to the oldest brother, Lamont. He was going down the road. He was working on a project on his job, and he worked some overtime on his job, was on his way home, and stopped, got some gas, and got on the road. And then this guy in a much, much bigger car was drunk at 3:00 in the afternoon. What a dick. He was drunk and hit the back of my brother's car going, I think it was something like 75 or 80 miles an hour, something like that. And the light was, keep in mind, it was at a red light, right? But the dude was so drunk that, he was just not cognizant of his actions. So he hit the back of my brother's car and turned my brother's car into a little, it looked like taking a Coke can and smashing it down. That's what his little Nissan Versa. And he bought that little piece of crap Nissan Versa because he just wanted something that he could run back and forth to work and save gas. Why? I don't know, because the man made extremely good money, and I don't know why he was concerned about gas in his car. He could have been driving a tanker truck, really, if he wanted to, because he was making what I consider to be very, very good money from his LA City retirement and from the job that he was working at for the city of Corona. But the point is that, yes, something can happen to me tomorrow, but my objectives, my goals are lofty. Feed, clothe, and house 2 billion people, employ 200 million people. To a lot of people, they go, that's fucking ridiculous. But to me, I say, you know what? Why not have the loftiest of goals? Why not learn and envision myself with all the things that I want and desire? Right? Why not? What the hell? I can, what difference does it make that I see myself, living a certain way and providing a certain providing to my fellow man, to other human beings. For me, that's what works. For you, you might see yourself, I don't know, having a $1 million home and several nice cars or whatever. But what really ultimately counts is that you have an objective, you have a goal, for yourself, for you to leave a legacy for your family, or for you to, improve or I don't know what it is for you, but the idea is that, it all starts with moving these mountains, right? Starting with, as I mentioned earlier, something as simple as getting up in the morning when you don't want to, something as simple as doing that one extra thing that is out of your norm, out of your pre-programming. Okay, so we have to, you and I, right? Because I am a work in progress, right? And I call myself a master teacher because I believe I am a master teacher and a coach. But I will tell you that it doesn't matter who you are. If you're not constantly learning and developing yourself, then all those titles people put behind their name, professor, teacher, doctor, pick one, the Pope, whomever, the Dalai Lama. If you're not constantly learning, then all that stuff that you have behind your name, Dalai Lama or Pope or whatever, means absolutely nothing. So, because everything changes constantly and consistently, number one, and number two, if we don't continue learning, then even the stuff that we know ends up becoming dormant in our minds, right? So it's imperative and important that you constantly are learning and growing and trying to not use the word try anymore, and developing yourself so that you reach whatever heights you so desire. It's just that simple. Start today. Right here, right now. Get something, a piece of paper, use your smartphone or whatever you can to create a list, and just take a moment, create a list. For you, it might be one thing, but I prefer 5. 5 things that you're going to do, right, today that you need to do towards your new objective, towards your building your business greater. Just 5 things. 5 things. I mean, it's not that difficult, right? But the power of it is that you will start retraining, or it starts off as a software in your subconscious, right? So you're gonna start retraining your subconscious to believe and understand that you can do beyond what you've been doing. So as an example, I have been taking meetings with people that, I'm not probably going to do some of the things that they're talking about, but what it has been doing for me is helping me grow, right? Because even though I'm taking meetings with people that are, just talking about things that, really aren't in line with my direction necessarily. But what I can say is that when I have these meetings with these individuals, what happens is I get new perspective. And so that new perspective is a part of my learning, is part of my growing. And like this past weekend, I'm a part of the LA South Chamber of Commerce, and I went to a conference. Well, not a conference. I'm sorry. It was a retreat with them out in Palm Desert, and so I wasn't able to go. They started on Thursday through Saturday. I wasn't able to go on Thursday, but I went Friday afternoon, and then did a little function with them that evening, and then we wrapped it up on Saturday. And the people that are there, they all have all these different life experiences. They're all entrepreneurial. They're all working towards accomplishing something, and they're from different, very different arenas, if you will. But I went and I go to their different, because I'm constantly learning from these people. Some of them are very old style, like old style. But dude, I learned so much. There's so much information I glean from these individuals. And just as important is I'm able to make these contacts. So like there was a young lady from Union Bank that the chamber works with. And so I was able to get her card, and I'm going to go. I've had my Wells Fargo business account since 1992, but you better believe I'm going to go and sit down with this young lady and open up a business account with her and see what I can do through Union Bank. Does that make sense? It's all a part of, if I had not gone to the retreat, I would not have met her. I would not have had that introduction. And then, so therefore, I would not have that extra potential of raising capital, creating a new relationship with a new institution, meaning Union Bank in this particular instance. So by me choosing to do something outside of my norm, I'm definitely going to benefit from it. Plus the couple other people that I met there that I think are going to be very beneficial to my future. And I didn't really want to go because I was like, I don't want to go there. I don't want to, they had a discounted rate, so I didn't have to spend $150 a night. It was only $89 plus the tax and whatever, came out to $101, a night. But I was just kind of like, I really don't want to bother with that. But I forced myself to do it because in order for me to grow and to be and to accomplish all that I have set out to do, then I got to do those things, right? And so that's part of my 5. It's part of my, one of my 5 things a day. And realistically, I could have wrapped all 5 of my objectives for the day up in that, in going there. A is to be there, which is outside of my norm. The second thing would have been to make contacts there. All right. And then, which I did. The third thing would have been to, have to make sure that people know who I am, give out my card to folks. I don't know. I'd have to think about, what the 5 objectives could have been at that point in time. But the biggest one was going there for me and socializing with these individuals, letting them see that I'm, this is Pascal Dominique Mansell, and I'm here about my business like they're about their business. You guys catching that, I hope. So with that said, we are, let's see, what time is it? 9:45. With all of that said, and I'm hoping you guys are grasping this info. I want to move on to covering, a big part of why we're on this call, and it's to cover. There's two different versions of this, right? So, but they ultimately are the same. So there are 3 levels, right? So 3 levels, just like there are 3 levels of money, there's 3 levels of there's pretty much 3 levels of almost everything you can think of in the field of changing. So in where it comes with the money part, there are 3 levels of money, and it's important that we understand this. So the first level of money is literally the lowest level of money. The third level is the lowest level of money. And the lowest level of money is the physical or the material level of money. And that is when people are scrambling for it. You think of that greenish dollar bill, and so we're scrambling for it because we're connected to the material of having that dollar bill in our pocket. In actuality, I'm still at level 3 and partially into level 2, right? And so level 3, where it's the physical, where that's what we're concerned about, is holding on to that physical dollar bill, is literally, when you think about it, it's the most minor part of creating. It literally is the most minor part of creating. It is good to have physical capital in your possession. It is good to have gold in your possession, for that matter. It's good to have silver in your possession. It's good to have dollar bills, 50s, 100s, 20s, ones, $100 bills, whatever. It's good to have that in your possession, but you have to think of it as what it is. It is just the lowest level where you're scrambling to try to get money into your possession, right? So very wealthy people are no longer scrambling to get money into their possession, and it's not just a thing of they're wealthy. It's a thing of, no, they want it circulating. They want their money circulating. So it's not just having the possession of that dollar bill in their pocket. It becomes level 2, where they know they have it, but they don't have to have a bunch of it physically in their possession anymore, because their money is out working for them. Their money is out getting friends, like Kevin Leary says from Shark Tank. He sends his dollar bills out like soldiers to capture other dollar bills. And when you think about it, that is how it's really supposed to be. So the physical level of having capital in your hand is fantastic, but it is truly the lowest level. It's when you're really doing something big, is when your money is not just sitting in your possession, but when your money is out working for you and coming back to you with friends, so you can, more money, so you can then subsequently send it out to get even more friends. Your money is not in the physical, in your pocket or in your hand, or just sitting in a bank account somewhere collecting dust, so to speak. It is literally out working for you. It's invested in real estate. It's invested in a business. It's invested in I don't know, the stock market. It's literally out doing stuff for you, right? And that level is referred to as the psychological level. right? So it's where we know we have this money in abundance and it's out working for us. But even at level 2, we're still concerned about the money, right? We're still concerned about it. But it's so level 3 is once again the physical level, and that's where we're at, most of us, where we're concerned about getting that $150 a day or $300 a day or whatever it is for you. That is the physical level, and that is truly the lowest level. Our second level is once again, it is the psychological level, and that is where, once again, we know we're generating money. We're comfortable. We know we have money, even if you don't see it. You know that you work 40 hours at your job, and they're going to deposit that money into your bank account. So you're not concerned about the physicalness of that dollar, right? Of that currency. Key phrasing: currency. Money is nothing more than currency. It's energy. So you're no longer worried about you're no longer worried about the physicalness of that dollar bill, because you know that you have supply. You have enough coming in because you're getting it through electronic transitions from your bank. You're going to get it from your rental property. You're going to get it from from your business. You're going to get it from your paycheck. You have monies coming in, right? So you know it. So from a psychological standpoint, it's you're concerned, obviously, but you're not in desperate mode for it. So the level 3, the physical level, is more of the desperate mode of currency, of collecting money. You have to have the physical, right? That's what you're grasping for. In level 2, because we're trying to get to level 1. Level 2 is when you understand that the money is coming, be it $100 a day or $500 a day or whatever it is that you're generating. And even if you don't ever touch that money, you have the capability of generating it and then subsequently putting it back out to work for you. Even if you're out paying your bills, you have to start understanding that paying your bills is part of that circulation. When you pay your light bill, that light bill is an investment in your overall development. You can't think of the light bill anymore as a bill, right? So we refer to it as a bill, but we have to stop thinking about it in those terms. We have to start thinking about, when you pay that light bill, it is an investment in your ability to do the things you need to do, because you can flip on your light switch and see, or you can get on your computer and start working on your computer. All of it is about the energy, right? Where you are allowing yourself, by paying that light bill, to move forward in 15, 20, 30 different other avenues. So is it a bill? No, it is an investment, and you have to start thinking about it in those terms. When you put gas in your car, it can no longer be, I'm putting this gas in my car, the gas prices are so high. No, you are investing. You are investing in your ability to move, to be able to go and do the things that you need to do, right? So when we're on the lowest level, on the lowest frequency of money, that's how we think. We think, damn it, it just cost me $50 to fill up my car. Okay, it just, the light bill is how much? We have to move from that. We have to start understanding that we are investing in ourselves to live the lifestyle that we so desire. Because if you don't pay your light bill, you don't pay the car note, if you don't pay put gas in your car, you're not going to live the lifestyle that you're working towards. So is it an investment, or is it a bill? Is it an investment, or is it an obligation? I'm willing to say and stand behind this, that it is an investment in the lifestyle that I choose. It is an investment in allowing me to improve and do the things that I want to do. When I put gas in my car, even if I just am choosing to go out to dinner, me putting gas in my car to go out and have dinner is an investment in myself to make me feel better and give me what I want, so that it gives me the impetus, the energy, the mindset to go out and do more, so I can continue going out and having dinner where I want, when I want, and how I want, right? It gives me the mindset to be able to I don't know, go to the movies like I did the other day. Saw a good movie Saturday. It was called Anna. It's an action movie, really good. You guys have to go see it. But so we have to, move to that second level where if you have a job, you have a paycheck coming in, understand that you're in the psychological level of money where okay, well, I get this check coming in, I can pay my obligations, which are going to help me be able to get up the next day, wash my behind, and get dressed, jump in my car, and go out and earn more money, which means that also I have the capability of saying I'm going to do some extra things that are going to help me generate even more money. But if I don't invest in my light bill, if I don't invest in my car, and if I don't invest in these clothes, and if I don't invest in the gas in my car, then I won't. It'll make it more difficult for me to go out and invest in my new venture that's going to generate more money for me, right? So the obligations that we have, the debts, the this, the that, whatever it is, some of them are absolutely stupid, right? But so what? So what? It's something that you did. It doesn't even make any difference anymore. What matters now is how we reframe our existence. Investing in yourself. It is, some investments shouldn't be that great. Like going out to dinner. If you're going to go out to dinner and you're going to spend $100 to $200 on dinner, and you don't really have that money, that's probably not the best investment for you, right? Nonetheless, it is an investment. It is an investment in your joy, your happiness, which will help you go out and generate more money, more currency, so that you can do bigger and better things the next time. Because we're constantly shifting. You always got to remember that. We are constantly, right, shifting. And realistically, no matter how, where you're at right here, right now, you can flip the script in literally one thought, in literally 1 millisecond. You can flip the script and change what your positioning is right now, your direction right now, in 1 millisecond. In one thought, you can flip the script and be going in a completely different direction that's going to benefit you even greater. So then the first level of money, right? The first level of money is referred to as the spiritual money conscious level. And I'm going to break this down by explaining to you guys that in this world, right? So no matter where it has been, one thing has always been tracked in society after society, in European society, Asian societies, whatever, right? Is that the people that with the most power felt that it was a divine right, that it was divinity, right? It was God that gave them the right to rule, that gave them the right to be wealthy, that gave them the right to be born into that family, right? It was divine. It wasn't happenstance. It wasn't any of that. Even here in this country, back in the day, with the oil barons and the rubber barons and the Fords of the world and all that, they felt, even if they came from humble beginnings, they felt that it was divine intervention that created their wealth. And so therefore they would only marry other people of wealth to pass it on. And so it's a mental thing. It is literally so ingrained in these people, inbred in these people, that, for decades upon centuries, that they literally felt that they were born divinely to rule. They were born divinely to be wealthy. That it's just and it just, because of that thought process, you have people like the Windsors who have ruled for however long, you know what I mean? 1,000 years or something crazy. They're not the only ones. I mean, there are lineages of people, whether it be in Africa, be in Asia, be, pick it, where because of their feeling of divinity, of divine right to rule, divine right to be wealthy, there are families that date back thousands of years and have been wealthy ever since. Now, true enough, they have been able to, with their wealth, to place themselves in position of power, right? Or place themselves in position where their money will continuously make money, by buying land all over the place and this, that, and the other. But then there are the ones that have lost everything because they have children that are screwed up somehow or whatever and don't continue on. But what seems to be the most what's the words I'm looking for? The most crap. I was in the tip of my tongue and then it just escaped me. But so I have to change this around a little bit. Throughout history, this country or anywhere else in the world, there are people that feel like they are divinely wealthy. They feel like they are, they were meant, they were ordained by God or by whatever it is that they believe in to be who they are. And those people have put that into their minds because that's what is in their world, right? And I'm telling you, you are just as divine to be as wealthy or as rich as you want, but it's not like an overnight snap of a finger to get to that mindset. It is, you know what it is? It's like white privilege in the United States. Okay, I have a grouping of people that I know, and some of them from my family. That's why I know. And I watch one of my nieces, how she reacts in the world, and she happens to be white. And I watch how she reacts and acts and reacts in this world, which is so different than some of my other nieces who happen to be black. And I have nieces that are Hispanic. I hate that word Hispanic, but they're Guatemalan, so they're South American descent. Yeah, so I have nieces and nephews from different backgrounds, but I watch my nieces that and it's just like their level of privilege, their level, even if they don't see it themselves, you can just watch how they expect things to be a certain way because that's who they are told they are. Does that make sense to you guys? That is, it's a good look for her. You know what I mean? I'm kudos to both, to my sister and to a couple of sister-in-laws and niece. Kudos to them, right? But they find that the world treats them a certain way because of how they look, right? So in their mind, it is, for lack of a better way of saying it, it is their divine right to be treated in a certain way. Now, I have seen this, the same type of divine right or thought process in other people that I know that are of color, both black and Mexican, that were raised by either Europeans, right, or Americans, white Americans in very prominent areas. And they take on that very same mindset. And the reason they take on that mindset is because that is how they've been raised. That is who they are told they are. Or, the way they talk to people and deal with people, deal with the world is so different than so many other people because that is how they have been trained and raised to believe they are. Isn't it? It's like really amazing when you sit back and watch it. The privilege that some people just believe they have, that they were literally born in this world to have. And that is the first level, right, of money. That is the first level where in you know that you know beyond any shadow of a doubt that you are entitled to being well off, that you are entitled, right? So it encompasses all of level 3, level 2, and it encompasses the third level, which is you know that you're entitled to be that person, to be that individual with that has the financial wherewithal to do whatever they want, when they want, how they want. And that means if they chose to go out and buy a jet, they could do so, right? It is possible for each and every one of us to get to that level so that we're at the spiritual, money conscious level. This is not like stuff from Pascal, right? This is stuff that I've learned and listen to people that have achieved these levels of success where their money consciousness is just so ingrained in them that no matter what happens in the world, it has nothing to do with me. They feel like they are above and beyond all of that, and that money is just a thing that comes to them because they are entitled to it. That is the ultimate level, where all of level 3, the having, right, the physical of it, it's just there. Level 2, where the psychological level, where you just say to yourself, okay, well, I know I got money coming because this, that, and the other, to level 1, where it's not even a thought anymore because that you're just entitled to it, and that the moves that you make, the people that you deal with, the things that occur, even if you went flat broke, that you are so entitled to this ordination, if you will, that if you had 0, that it will come to you, it'll come back to you tenfold because it's just who you are. So anyways, you guys, the other quick thing I want to run over real fast is the other side of the coin. So it's not just like about money, but so there's verbal, visual, and emotional, right? The other 3. Same thing, just another side of the coin, right? So verbally, we have to start saying to ourselves out loud, right? Not just in your mind, but out loud, verbally, that you are whatever it is, your whatever your mantra is, whatever your prayer is going to be. All right, so you need to set up different prayers or mantras for yourself, or meditations. But you need to find a space and time so that you can do these things verbally. All right, so that you can go over your because you got to hear it. You got to hear it. You got to work that vibration, right? That verbal vibration. And so the other side of it is, or the other part of it, I should say, is not only should you say it every day, maybe 5 or 10 times a day, every time you can think about it, even if you have to say it in a low whisper because you're at work or you're driving down the road or you have other people in the car, or you're walking to the grocery store, you don't want to look crazy, whatever your mantra is, you need to think about what it is that you want to create, what it is that you want to manifest, and that needs to become part of your mantra. You need to start with that, and you need to say it verbally, even if it's at a low tone, but you need to say that every day. Then you need to visualize whatever it is. I have my little vision board up, but I also visualize the things that I want to bring into fruition, or that I want to bring into creation. I'm bad at this stuff at this point in time. I'm going to tell you guys up front, I am bad at this stuff, but I am working on it because I know it works. All right. So I am literally where you are at. I might be a little further in this, but I'm basically where you're at. I'm a work in progress. And so I don't do it all the time like I'm supposed to. I don't plan out my day, which is part of your visualization and part of your verbalization, is you should plan out your day. You should plan that you're going to have a freaking excellent day. You should plan how your day is going to go, and mark my words, it will start occurring in that manner. Plan it out, plan out your freaking day. Even if it's, okay, I'm going to get up, I'm going to get my teeth washed, I'm going to wash my booty, I'm going to jump in my car, I'm going to go to work, I'm going to have a freaking good day at work. That asshole Johnny that I'd have to deal with at work, he is not going to be an asshole today, and even if he chooses to be, I'm just going to smile and say, okay, Johnny, and I'm going to keep it pushing, because it really doesn't matter what the hell's going on in his world. The only thing that counts is what's going on in my world, and then I'm going to enjoy my day. I'm not going to let some asshole on the freeway piss me off, or on the road piss me off, and then I harbor that anger throughout the course of my day, and it ruins my day. I'm not going to do any of that. I'm planning out my day, and this is how it's going to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to write down my 5 things before I go to bed or first thing in the morning that I need to accomplish this day, blah, 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 right? So you need to verbalize what your mantra, your prayer, what your meditation, you got to do that stuff. And then you got to start visualizing it. And on top of that, how's your day going to go? Visualize it and even verbalize that as well. And then ultimately what we're trying to do is get to that emotional level, which I've talked about over and over, where emotionally is where everything connects, right? Listen, if the first time, like if you have children, when your child was born, you know what? That is imprinted in your head, right? Forever. A trillion different things have occurred to you, have occurred or happened in your life since you've been born, but there's only a handful that you just can remember almost just detailed out, right? Because it changed your existence in some fashion or form. And honestly, the emotional, once it hits an emotional level, it's locked in, and it changes your programming. It changes your software initially, and if it's something that's really deep with, like a deep emotion, then it changes that hardware, right? And it becomes who you are. So when your child was born, for me, I was doing a lot of stuff that I was like, my kid's born, and I got to stop doing these different things because, I have a child now, right? So I literally changed my hardware, right? Initially my software, because it was a thought process, but I changed my hardware and stopped doing certain things because, you know what? I had a child and I need to be a different human being. And so, I changed my programming, and whether it's a child being born or the first time you got a new car or whatever, those things lock in your brain, right? So if you got married, that locks in your brain because it's on an emotional level. And so that's ultimately, whether it's talking about the 3 levels of money or it's talking about verbal, visual, and emotional, once again, 2 sides of the same coin. It's all about emotion. What is the feeling that you're getting from what you're doing? And that's it for this call, you guys. I'm sorry I ran over a bit, but I just wanted to get to the 3 levels because I think it's just important for all of us. I know it's important for me, and you might have a difference of opinion. And you know what? If you do, that's great. Find something that works for you. But we have to start today and just change. Start doing something towards our change. We can change our direction literally in one thought. Period. Right? In a millisecond, we can change. So I say this all the time, but if anyone has anything that they want to add, please feel free to do so. If you don't want to verbalize it, because I know a lot of people are at work right now, you can put it in the chat, or you can just hit me up later. So as you all know, I do my coaching. If you guys want to do some one-on-one with me, that's absolutely awesome. And we can chop it up. So thank you again for myself, Pascal Mansell, and my number is 951-515-4728, as it's been for the last 20 some odd years. And thank you from myself and Power Monday Mastermind. I hope that you guys are getting something out of these calls. And screw that. I know you're getting something, or else you wouldn't be hanging. You wouldn't be hanging on so long. Because I have to say that other than the person that was talking, and I have to get off the phone, all these people are just hanging on this call, and that's a good look. That's a great look. So that tells me that you guys are getting something of value. So thank you so very much. And I will see you all on next Monday at 9 a.m. For our next Power Mondays Mastermind call. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Take care, you guys.